Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. We're just going to give it another minute or two to have more people roll in, and then we'll kick things off. As we're waiting, if everyone could drop in the chat their name and organization and where you're located. Let's see where everyone is. Also, while we are waiting, there is a chat box. That's all the fun comments and anything you want to share, like the introductions. But we will also there's also a Q&A box. So as you are listening to this great presentation, if you have any specific questions, just type them in the Q&A box and we'll be sure to answer them through the box or through live discussion. And I see a few people. Let's see, Becca from the Ugandan Water Project. It's been a while, Becca, nice to see you. Michael, Mobile Surgery International, Fred Hutch Cancer Center, Mercy Corps, British Red Cross. I think we just did a presentation for you. Welcome. Sheltering Arms, Rich from Orangutan Outreach, and Heart Math Institute. Hi, Anne. Anne is joining us from the Institute for Justice. So we'll give it maybe another 10 more seconds. Again, if you are new here, please put in the chat your name, organization, and where you're located. We have clients all around the world, so it's great to see what other like-minded organizations are accepting crypto and now card and stock and DAF donations through the Giving Block. Great, nice to see everyone. So Sam, I think he is going to share his screen, but again, welcome to today's webinar. We will be talking about boosting your discoverability and how to ensure crypto donors find you. So basically donor acquisition. So I will hand it off to both of my colleagues, Sam and Luis, and dive in. Take it away.
All right, welcome everyone. It's good to be here in great company with everyone. We are the Giving Block. Sam and I, we work in the marketing department. We have been working with the Giving Block for almost 2 years for me, and Sam is coming up on 2 years as well. A little bit of background about ourselves. We both come from the nonprofit industry background, and we both worked in marketing in our previous life. So we are very aware of a lot of like the challenges that nonprofits face when it comes to advertisement, limited budgets, doing marketing in kind of like a limited capacity with smaller teams, and not having like the amount of resources that bigger organizations have. So I think like this gives us a very good edge in terms of like how do we approach marketing with nonprofits, for nonprofits, with the Giving Block. Is there anything else, Sam, that you want to add to that background?
I think you covered it really well. I'll just say hi to everybody too. Like Luis said, I think our background for both of us, we're very used to wearing many hats in our roles, especially when we work with nonprofit organizations. So we understand, again, especially when you advocate for a particular solution that you think is going to be really valuable, being that advocate too internally and showing the full strength of the potential there. We understand the need and the desire and the wish to have the tools to make it work. So that's what we're hoping to do today, and just give you an overview of SEO and boosting your discoverability, especially for crypto donors who are really active in digital spaces. So I think we'll kick things off there. And I think first we wanted to provide some session outcomes that we're hoping to give to you all through this presentation. And I believe this will be made available for future. So if we've breezed through something that you want to pause on or go back to, you'll have access for that later. So just running through these quickly, we want to talk a little bit about how to create a really well search optimized crypto donation page that can help you get discovered through Google search and other search engines. We also want to talk a little bit about internal linking strategies on your website to help funnel web users to desired conversion pages, for example, your crypto donation page. Sort of similar to that, we want to talk about storytelling, especially through blog content and other pages that can help educate and inspire potential donors. Then from there, Luis especially is going to dive into Google and Twitter ads. And then we'll talk a little bit more broadly about social media, especially Twitter, and how that can be a really valuable tool for finding potential crypto donors. Luis, anything you want to add there before we jump in?
Nope, I think we're all good. Let's keep rolling.
Okay, we'll keep rolling. And as Jasmine said, there's going to be a chat and a Q&A. I think we'll try to get to all the Q&As towards the end. But if Jasmine has some questions she can answer, or one of us can answer while we're not presenting on that slide, we'll try to answer those in real time as well. So first, let's kick things off and talk about SEO and how to create an optimized crypto donation page. So let's start with kind of the basics and backing up here and talk about what SEO is and why it's really important. I think just basically we're in a digital world. It's increasingly digital. I can't see you all, so I can't take a show of hands, but I would imagine most of us pick up our phones 20, 30, 40, a lot of times a day, and we're often on Safari or whatever it might be, or Twitter. The digital experience is part of our lives. It's increasingly central, and that shows up in businesses and with nonprofits too, as they look at their goals and who's buying, who's donating, who's giving, who's interacting. So when we talk about the importance of SEO, we're talking about optimizing your website and specifically some really critical pages on your website so that you are giving those pages the best opportunity to show up in search results that are relevant to your mission. We know from just different stats and studies that one of the highest quality sources for different web conversions across all sorts of sectors is organic search. And organic search is when you or I or someone else types in a search term on a web browser, and we scroll through the results and we click one of them. That's an organic visitor to your website if somebody does that. And these tend to be really high intent. They've searched with a specific question or a solution they're seeking. And the result they click on is the one that they believe is going to provide that solution or result or help them take their desired action. So the more you can do to optimize your pages to tell the search engines this page is going to be the one that's going to provide that solution for the visitor, the more likely it is that your page is going to show up higher and higher in the results. And it's sort of one of these things that snowballs as far as your authority for that page. So if people start clicking, it's going to create this positive feedback loop for Google and other search engines, and that's going to boost your authority over time. So when we talk about payoff for optimizing a page for SEO, we're really talking about a couple of different things. Engaging with a high quality source of traffic, trying to find your ideal audience, and having long-term benefits that are going to slowly over time build that authority, not just for that page, but for other parts of your website on the whole. So now let's just talk a little bit. I want to give an overview of the ways you can appear in search results. It's not just that never-ending scroll of results. Sometimes you search something, you see there's page 1, but there's also page 10,000. There's a lot of pages on the internet, and you really want to get on that first page. But there's other ways than being that #1 organic result. Especially on Google, they've been experimenting with a lot of different ways over the years to provide answers that they believe searchers are going to want to look for and to present it in different ways. So for example, on the top left, you'll see featured snippet. That's something that Google has assigned to different articles, and they don't show up on every search result, but often they do, increasingly so. And it pulls out a little snippet of language from a particular web page that it feels like provides the definitive answer or one of the definitive answers for the search query that people are looking for. So with this example, I typed in donate crypto to charity, and we see a featured snippet from Save the Children. We see the giving block as the #1 organic result, but then we also see these other questions, this people also ask category. And that's another opportunity for your website to show up here. So this is a bit of a teaser for what we'll cover a little bit more in depth in coming slides, but those questions and answers are going to come up later. And I'll leave you with that because there's some interesting ways that you can add more information to your crypto donation pages without it feeling like you're overwhelming your reader and you're still providing that clean experience. So let's talk about that. When you think about a page, you kind of want to reverse engineer things and think about who that target reader is going to be. And you want to think about what sort of questions they'll be asking, what sort of keywords they might be Googling. And you'll also want to look at those keywords results right now, study the landscape a little bit, and then work to figure out what that ideal page is for your target reader. There are a lot of different tools out there that are free and paid. Free ones include a lot of Google's tools like Google Trends and Google Keyword Planner. And those tools they're free for everybody. It can help you see what keywords are growing as far as volume over time or shrinking. They can help you compare two terms if you're not sure which one might be the best one to optimize for. And it can also give you some additional keywords to plan for that might be related to a particular keyword that you think might be the #1 thing you're looking for. And we'll talk about that in a second here as well. So I want to give some examples that sort of illuminate some of these different concepts we've been talking about. So let's start with American Cancer Society. They are, as the video shows, the #1 charity that shows up when you Google donate crypto on Google. And I think this is just a great example of leading with that big keyword, donate crypto. It's kind of broad, but they've designed a page that not only delivers the results of what the reader wants. When you click that button, you get a crypto donation page. You've got a form. You've got some information about what is donated crypto, where you can donate it to, and it addresses its target audience all throughout the page. As you see on the top, you have the donation page itself with the form. And then as you get lower, you see this FAQ that has specific questions like, what are the tax benefits of donating cryptocurrency? Do you accept NFT donations? Things that your crypto donor might be wondering, depending on who they are, how they invest in crypto, and what they're interested in giving. So they've done a really excellent job kind of providing all this information, as well as some information about their particular impact and links to learn more. Jumping to another example that I really like, this is Project Hope. And what I love about this is what I'm calling secondary keywords. So as we looked at with Save the Children or American Cancer Society, they had donate crypto as their primary keyword. And Project Hope did something really interesting where they have donate crypto to Turkey earthquake as a keyword that they're ranking very highly for. And I think this is a simple yet effective learning that we can all take from because all of our organizations have specific missions. And we can optimize. Maybe you won't be the #1 result for donate crypto, but you might be the #1 keyword result for donate crypto to support animal rescue or whatever your mission may be. And that's going to be increasingly valuable as we see crypto adoption grow over time and more crypto donors being interested in donating to the causes that they support. So I think this is something that you should take away, that you should feel comfortable leaning into your niche a little bit more. And not feel like you have to be the #1 for donate crypto just as that keyword alone, but you can experiment and lean into this. So they've really honed their pitch to a specific audience, and it's a subtle change they've made that reflects current events, but it doesn't totally disrupt the basic building blocks and structure of their page. So I love what they did there. And just one more example here, International Fund for Animal Welfare. Again, they've leaned into their niche as well with donate crypto, save animals, and they've stated that very clearly up front. And what I also like about that is they've used a lot of their FAQ space to really dive into specific questions. They say things like their wallet address, which is a terminology that crypto donors will be very familiar with. So they've really showed that they've done their research and they know who they're speaking to and how a crypto donor audience may differ from, say, a more traditional donor. And one thing I really liked is they've used the word crypto a lot on this page, and that's okay. They've used it about 21 times by my count. And yep, I counted. And what I like about this is they didn't do something called keyword stuffing, which you'll see a lot sometimes at the bottom of a page where you might see just like a line of different phrases that people think might be relevant keywords. We don't want to do that because Google can identify those instances where you might just be stuffing in a bunch of keywords and hoping that it'll add SEO value. You want to write naturally, but it's okay to have some repetition there, and that might actually be to your benefit here. So before we move to the next section, I wanted to recap this a little bit and give you some action items. So when you build an SEO-driven donation page, you want to really think about your target audience, obviously crypto users, but think really about your niche as well. And as you conduct your keyword research, you're going to want to pick a primary keyword that you're going to optimize your page for, and then potentially some other secondary keywords. And a great exercise here is to think about question and answer. What question would a potential donor of this page want the answer to? And where on your page do you think you should answer that? As we looked at some of the examples, we see at the top, we see a lot of more high-level information. Donate crypto to your cause. Here's how you can make a difference, things of that nature. You have your donation form pretty prominently displayed. And then further down, there's a little bit more information about the impact your organization makes, as well as more granular, detailed information that crypto donors might be curious about. And I would say lastly, just review top results. Do some Googling, take some notes, and I'm sure you're going to find a lot of other great examples that are out there besides the 3 that I've shared here. Luis, anything to add here?
I want to add something here. So as we were talking about like the size of your marketing team, the size of like your budgets and all that, this SEO is optimizing for search engines is one of like the most cost-effective ways of getting your costs out there and to be searchable. So in general, like I know that many teams will have a dedicated person that works on the website. They would have a whole team that works on the website. In some cases, they have an external team that works on the website. And some other cases, like the president of the nonprofit is the actual person doing the changes on the website. Regardless of who that person is, what you need to know is that all these actions, all these actions that you can take here and all these learnings that you're doing, that you're taking, all these takeaways from this presentation will show you that basically what you're doing is thinking about who your audience is, writing the things in a way that you would also search for, and putting them in a page that would make sense. So as much as you can do in doing your research about like who's going to like be researching for you, and how does this impact your mission as well, is going to be like the best results, as long as you put them together in a way that is coherent, that it sounds natural, and that is it has like the right keywords in place to go live on your website. So eventually Google will pick up on those searches. Google will pick up on the keywords that you're working with, and will help you rank better against some of your other competitors as well.
Yeah, well put, Luis. And as we get to the next section, we're going to talk about not necessarily how to alleviate pressure on how this page performs, but how to kind of supplement and strengthen the authority of this page with other content and storytelling. So let's dive into that as well. So we're going to talk about internal linking and how this can potentially guide crypto donors through your site to get to desired action pages, whether that's subscribe to learn more through our email newsletter, whether that's give right away because we've got a fundraiser going, or some other action that you feel is critical to your mission and to cultivating crypto donors. So let's talk about what an internal linking strategy is and just the baseline of how that really helps you. So as you think about your website, a lot of time is in consideration, rightly so, is put into those conversion pages. For nonprofits, often, like I said before, that's your donation page. Give now. Your team probably updates that when you have a particular campaign running. You might even have a separate donation page for particular campaigns, whether that's your annual fund or for a particular awareness day or event. For example, if you are an environmental related nonprofit, you might have an Earth Day campaign, and that might be different from your annual fund page. Now, as you talk about internal linking, the whole strategy here is to sort of naturally move your visitors towards these pages through smart linking from page to page. And what this can do is not only help funnel those visitors towards those action pages, it can in general improve web navigation so that people aren't stumped about how to get to a particular page if they want to support you. It also can increase the engagement from session to session, and engagement can be measured in a number of ways. It could be number of clicks per visit to your website, which might show that people are really actively engaging with what you're doing and the type of impact you're making. It can also increase the time on the page per web session, which also, talks about engagement and speaks to people really remembering what your organization is and what you do and thinking about that for future action and future support. And then overall, this can boost your SEO ranking. As we talked about previously with the donation pages, SEO is an increasingly important part of any business in any sector, including the nonprofit sector, because we live these increasingly digital lives and more of our actions and purchases are made through online channels. So let's think about how we can get users to your crypto donation page. What we really want to do is sort of, like I said before, reverse engineer the process and think backwards a little bit. If you are a potential donor, what page might you want to see before you donate? I think in the nonprofit space, we talk a lot about asking people on a first date before you ask to marry them as an analogy for trying to ask donors to give before you've really properly introduced who you are, what your mission is, the type of impact you make, and how you plan to do so, and what kind of support you need. So there are a variety of approaches you can take here. A lot of nonprofits have a ways to give page that can sort of break down different avenues of support that you offer, whether that's crypto, whether that's a planned gift or a legacy gift, and so forth. But you can also use blog content to direct readers to the right action pages that you want. So we're going to look at a few examples now and talk about that. Not only do you want to have that donate crypto page, you can talk about impact on your website. And this is a great example that I really liked. And it does a nice job of informing the reader what sort of impact different levels of gifts make. And it also has a ways to give section here. And then within it, there's a cryptocurrency option, and you can click that and it goes directly to this organization's crypto donation page. And this is something that can work not just with crypto. If you have a different donation method that you feel like maybe is harder for donors to find, or they email you to ask because they're not sure where it is on your website, this is a great way to integrate that without overhauling something major on your website. I also love that this organization has a donate crypto link right in the top corner. I think in doing so, they've recognized that crypto donors are digital donors, so they're very likely to be looking at your website before they make a gift. And this just speaks to the research that this organization has done and leaning into crypto philanthropy, which I love. Another example here is Children International. I really like that they've got a prominent link to donate crypto from their main donation page. They've also got a separate other ways to help page, and that also calls out cryptocurrency donations as a method. And this example that I have on the video here is a press release that they've posted on their blog, and it talks about how they now have crypto donations and a particular donation that was made to them. So what they've done here is really subtly provide some links within this article that link to the crypto giving page. So again, when we talk about how you can use SEO in other ways to help support your crypto donation visibility, this is a perfect example. If you've received a crypto donation in the last year or 2 years and you haven't written about it on your site, this is a really easy win for you, that you can provide a little bit more gratitude to that donor if they've been if they've publicly acknowledged it or are willing to have you publicly acknowledge it. And also you can provide a little bit more for SEO purposes. You can let people know in your title, your organization accepted this cryptocurrency donation, and then in that article you can provide those links that can get people back to that donation form. And this is something that is highly repeatable as you receive different types of support from the cryptocurrency community. And one last example here I want to talk about Mona Foundation, and I'm not going to show you a particular page, but just the Google search results here. So just the organization and crypto here in the search query box. And you can see they've done a great job articulating their support for the crypto community and vice versa, the crypto community's support for them. And you see they're doing the work to continuously push out the fact that they accept cryptocurrency. And this is great. I mean, you see over time, they're looking at NFTs as a viable option for fundraising, crypto in general. And you have Mona's crypto story, which in that article breaks down why they chose to accept cryptocurrency, some details about their early gifts and so forth. So these are all great pages that are repeatable for you, that provide great entry pathways, I should say, to your crypto donation page that aren't, that immediate ask type of content that we usually find on the donation page itself. So some action items here that you can take. You could add a donate crypto button somewhere prominently, whether that's in the footer, the header, your site nav, and so forth. You could create a more ways to give or update your more ways to give page that involves crypto and provide that pathway to your crypto donation page. And you can experiment with other CTAs that live on your blog, and so forth. So Luis, anything you want to add here?
No, I think like you have it all covered pretty well.
Okay, and I apologize if we're breezing through things. We've got a lot to cover and we want to get you all the information here. So please ask some questions, put it in the chat, and towards the end, we'll get to some Q&As. And if we don't have time to get to those, we'll be sure to follow up over email.
Also, we will be answering as we go. So if you type an answer in the Q&A while someone else is presenting, like the other person will be available to answer, to write up an answer for you guys.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about storytelling. We alluded to that a little bit in this previous section here, but we wanted to dig into this a little bit more. And we also wanted to take a sec to talk about who crypto donors are and sort of set the stage here and how they differ from maybe a traditional donor. As you all probably know, the average donor to a nonprofit is roughly 65 years old. And we know that crypto users have pretty different demographic averages with age and otherwise. So traditionally, crypto users are the majority millennials, followed by Gen X and Gen Z. They're digital natives, so they're expert social media and web users and Googlers, and they tend to be pretty expressive of their values. And in particular, crypto users tend to be more affluent and generous compared to their peers, and that's been shown through a couple of studies, including one by Fidelity Charitable that showed that they tend to give more on average than their cash giving peers. And they're nearing their peak earning years. As millennials, they're not quite there, but they're starting to reach that point in their careers. And additionally, they're set to inherit somewhere around $68 trillion in wealth from previous generations. And that's a historic number. And what's interesting there is they increasingly prefer digital assets over traditional investments. So we see the growth of crypto is going to come over time. And there's a lot of great statistics here that show that crypto is probably going to play an outsized role than it does even today in charitable giving. So as we talk about who these people are, let's talk about why storytelling is really essential here. And as we alluded to a little bit before, you really want to introduce yourself. As crypto philanthropy becomes a bigger part of the crypto culture in general, I think some of the initial novelty of, hey, we can donate this is going to be replaced with, where should I donate this to? And people who are really trying to take kind of their philanthropic giving into their own hands and do their research into which organizations they want to support. And as early adopters in crypto philanthropy, you guys have a great opportunity to start telling your stories and planting flags in the space for your niche and what your particular mission is. So with storytelling in a digital space, again, this is a great opportunity to increase engagement with potential crypto donors, as well as increase your SEO ranking by putting certain keywords in the titles and the H2s of these articles and pieces, and helping to funnel web visitors towards your crypto donation page and getting them interested in your mission, invested in your mission, and following you, whether that's on social media or through your newsletter. So some questions you might want to ask yourself is really about, putting yourselves in the shoes of a potential crypto donor. How can crypto donations help your mission? I think you'll want to think about that and phrase it in a particular way that speaks to crypto users. And you probably have some impact statements that apply to general supporters. One thing you might want to do is just tailor that to cryptocurrency donors and talk about, why you've decided to engage with crypto donors and accept it. Are you excited about the new technology? Are you interested in reaching different donors that haven't been traditionally a part of the giving space? There's no wrong answer here, but I think crypto donors are going to want to hear from you directly as an organization about why you've chosen to accept crypto, what excites you about it, what sort of potential that it has for you. And if you've received support from crypto donors already, how have these gifts already made a difference? I want to show a couple examples. This one is from WaterAid. What I really like here is they have published some crypto impact reports that are similar to general annual reports, only they are specifically for cryptocurrency donors' impact. These are digital pieces that you can see on their website for free. And they do a great job linking both to external news coverage they've gotten, as well as, like you see on the video here, their donation form directly. So this is a great example for any organization that doesn't need to produce something that's as elaborate, but an article that talks about crypto impact from the year you had previously, or of a particular donation, can be a great version of this that can help to explain to potential crypto donors, yes, you accept crypto, you're thinking about it as a particular asset class that has a lot of potential to make a difference for your organization. They've also made a short YouTube video about donating crypto, which is great for SEO because YouTube is the second highest search engine in the world. A lot of people think of it as just a place where you can watch videos, but it's owned by Google, and they run every video script is part of the SEO experience, and they run those captions. So if you are creating a video that says how to donate cryptocurrency to support your cause or the cause area you work in, that's going to help your SEO score overall. They've also done a great job by sort of integrating crypto into their fundraising. They announced a crypto campaign on their blog. And not only is that showing that crypto donors are part of their thinking as far as their fundraising strategy, it's also a nice SEO win too. Another example I wanted to show was Feeding America. And rather than showing you their website, I wanted to show you a crypto donor and his web engagement that he's done as a result of some of the work that Feeding America had done. So this is the Twitter feed of Jack Butcher. He's a designer, an NFT artist, and sort of you could call him like an influencer, kind of Luis, I don't know if you want to jump in, but kind of a well-known figure in the crypto space, I would say. And he's done a variety of different fundraisers that support nonprofits through NFTs and through crypto fundraisers. And what I love here is that he took some of the impact data that Feeding America has on their website about how many dollars it takes to make a certain kind of impact. And he translated that into an NFT fundraising campaign where he said, I'm going to launch an NFT collection. Here's how much it's going to cost to buy one. 100% of the proceeds will be donated to Feeding America. And because of what he was able to find on Feeding America's website about the impact data, he was able to translate that so that all of his followers know that, oh, for however much it was, $10, it was roughly $10, I believe, but I can check on that. We'll feed 100 people through this organization. So everyone who sees that can know they can make a specific tangible impact. And this is the kind of data that you could put on your website and you could translate to different crypto denominations. You could translate, if you know what $1,000 can do for your organization, you can plug that in and see what that can do in Bitcoin. What's the equivalent in Ethereum? And that information is something that can empower the crypto community and folks like Jack Butcher who want to do something great. So I think here, Luis, unless you want to add something, just some highlights here is you want to emphasize the impact that have been made by crypto donors already. That can really boost your visibility in the crypto space. And, take to your blog, talk about relevant topics for crypto donors, explain why your organization began accepting crypto or what you hope to achieve through it, and lean into video. This doesn't have to just be YouTube. As I mentioned before, this can be something that you put right on your Twitter account. It can be shot on your iPhone vertically. It doesn't have to be something with super high production values. Authenticity, I think, is key here.
And yeah, and to all this, one of like the key takeaways is like crypto donors are just people, like they're people like everyone else. Like there are, like they're motivated by similar things that you are already talking to other donors as well. So just like be honest, make relevant statements about your mission, about like the impact of a donation, whether it's in crypto or anything else. And just like make all those options available to your donors. So talk about you, talk about how good it is to be helping, and elevate the stories that you tell by using all these tools available to you, including video, which is one of like the best ways to put your message out there as well.
Well said. Luis, I think I'm going to kick this over to you to talk a bit about Google and Twitter ads.
Sure. All right, so we're going to be talking a little bit about understanding the essentials of Google and some additional things that we're going to be talking about Twitter ads and just social media in general. But that would be in coming slides. So let's dive in. So what are Google search ads? As Sam was putting it, earlier in this presentation, there's many ways for you to show up on search results when you type in a keyword. And one of those search results are Google ads. So the way that this works is basically you bid for the specific keywords that you care about. You put some money towards it. And so when people search for that specific term, that's the first thing that would show up. And you're competing with other advertisers at the same time that would, kind of like they would be bidding for that same word, and whoever wins on that bid battle is the one who's going to show up at the top of the page, at the bottom of the page. It depends on what it is. So unlike traditional ad media buy, this is a bidding one, right? So it's basically just like you said how much you want to bid for that specific word, and then that's going to like give you like the ranking that you're going to show up for. So the architecture of Google Ads works in this way. You have a campaign, and then you have ad groups within that campaign, and then you have your ads. So at the campaign level is what you basically have. You contain one of your ad groups. You assign a budget to it, and here's where you say where do you want these ads to run. So who are you targeting geographically? At this level is also where you set up your goals. So basically you say, what I would want out of my ads is for more people to click to visit my website, or I want conversions on my website, basically saying like, I want to have people complete a form, make a donation, etc. At the ad group level, so that's the one level down from the campaign, is where you create multiple ad groups. So you can have multiple ads within different groups. And here's where you use like specific audiences and keywords that will target that specific group. So you can have many different ads that target, people who are just that are interested in one specific keyword, and then you can have a different ad group that are targeting other keywords. So for example, charities to donate crypto to. At the ad level, these are the ones that contain the specific words. So here's where you add, like the creative. This is like the creative component of your ads. Here's where you write out specifically what you want the ad to say. And here's where you get creative in, adding multiple variations of the same kind of like phrases to make it more interactive for the users as they're typing in their questions. So in some cases, you'll type in, like someone will be searching for something for a specific answer, and your ad will include all those keywords that the person searched for, and it will show up, will basically build an ad that has those specific keywords in it. Next slide. So outcomes for nonprofits running Google Ads. So the goal here for Google Ads, and this is something that we make clear with nonprofits, is that there's many different results that you can get out of Google Ads, and it depends all on the investment levels that you want to that you have. So this is very limited by budgets, but in general, the outcomes that you would want to have running Google Ads would be to increase traffic to your website. You would want more donations via these ads, and you would want subscribers to your newsletter or marketing list. So we're gonna work a little bit. We're gonna talk a little bit about some of this more in detail. Or I guess like we're skipping to Twitter ads. Yeah. So on Twitter ads, these are very different than Google search ads. So in this sense, Twitter ads are basically ads that you pay for on Twitter. And the main difference between this is like you can add images to it. In Google ads, it's mostly just like keywords and words that you will be displaying on your search results. Twitter ads will be more of like displaying an image with some text, and you're going to be targeting specific viewers, such as with things such as demographics, interests, and behaviors. And they're a little bit they're cost effective in the sense of like you can set a minimum spend for displaying these ads, and you can just use them to increase visibility to reach goals beyond current followers. So you can use these ads to actually get more followers. You can use ads to click through your website, and also you can use ads to kind of like raise more awareness about what is it that you do, and some of the donation methods that you have available through the Giving Block. Next. So what the outcomes for nonprofit Twitter ads? You would want to promote campaigns. So for example, some of like the examples that Sam was putting out there of, like a specific nonprofit raising funds for, the earthquake in Turkey, and similar campaigns like that. You would want to create ads to promote specific campaigns. You want to raise awareness to spread the word about like some of the stories that you have been telling, statistics about your results, facts about your mission, and just in general, educate the masses on what it is that you do. And then increase engagement. What you would want to do is get new followers, get more likes, share your ads, share your mission, and then recruit volunteers. Promote the benefits of volunteering and encouraging people to get involved. This is a great way for Twitter ads to be used. So you can, like basically put them out there and have more of your followers sign up for your mission and becoming volunteers. All right. So some of the advertisement best practices. So what we want to do is deliver on our promise, right? So one of like the best ways to get your ads performing in the best way possible, being Twitter ads or Google search ads, is to make sure that the landing page that you're creating has all the keywords and matches the copy that you have on your advertisement. So it is very common to have ads that once you click on them take you to a page that talks about something completely different, and that would just result in you losing money on that investment, and also not having like the right results that you would want. So what do? You make sure that the content that you're writing for that landing page and that you're directing people from that ad specifically to the action that you were telling them that what's going to be taken once you click on that ad. And you would optimize for desired results. So make sure that you're narrowing your audiences and your demographics. So you're making it very concise about like who this ad is for and what are the expectations for once that person clicks on that ad. And then make sure that you're budgeting wisely. So make sure that you have like an idea of like how much you want to invest, have kind of like an idea of like how much of your daily budget is going to be utilized, and then making sure that you have assigning negative keywords to your bidding strategy. And this means basically, like for example, in our case, what we do is we have donate Bitcoin to nonprofits as one of the keywords, but we would have just how to for example how to convert Bitcoin. That's something that would just like consume our budget, because like a lot of people that are not relevant to what we're trying to do and achieve are going to be searching for. So instead of just like having ads and keywords created that would consume our budget, we would put them on a negative keyword list. And basically anyone searching for that specific term is not going to be served any of our ads.
There's just to jump in there as an anecdote here, there's a pretty high search volume of people who search how to get free Bitcoin to me, or donate free Bitcoin to me. For us, we don't want that keyword to be something that we're spending a lot of our ad budget on. So that's a perfect example of a negative keyword that your Google ad campaign might try to pick up and serve to that audience. But you can see in your ad console which keywords which keyword searches have been delivered your ads, and you can monitor that over time and then block them as you see things that may not be appropriate for you.
Exactly. And then just making sure that you have like an action on your final page. Once you click on the ad, there's definitely an action to be taken on that landing page. Be either getting an email sign up or making a donation right there and then is what you want to make sure that page has in place. So take actions and some of the steps to consider. What you can do here for ads is that you can create a daily, monthly, quarterly, or even a yearly budget for crypto fundraising ads. I know that the budgets are very different for nonprofits. So, any amount helps as long as you understand what those amounts are and that you have, the capacity to make that investment. That's totally great. Then you can go ahead and develop at least one Google campaign, one ad group and one ad set, and just kind of like keep iterating on that, see how it's resulting, see how, things are progressing, keep track of it, making sure that your budget is being utilized in the right way. If you guys didn't know, Google has a Google Grants account, and it's basically a grants program that nonprofits can apply to, and is mostly, it's open for any nonprofit, any 501c3, and other charities can apply for this. And it's basically like they give you $10,000 a month. There's some other pro levels that I'm not sure if they're still in existence, but they do have like a pro level a couple of years ago where you can spend even $40,000 a month from this grant. The one caveat with Google Grants is that they have limitations on bid strategy. So they have a cap of how much money you can put towards a specific keyword. So for example, if it's open market and you're paying for your ads and it's not part of a grant account, you can, in theory, pay $10 for every bid that you have. So you can kind of like always win that bid. With Google Grants, you have a cap of like $2. So the benefit or one of like the things to consider when you're running a Google Grants account is that you have to be more mindful about the long tail keywords that you're adding to your account. So it's more targeted to specific questions that people will be asking. So you will have better results with that. And then another challenge that we have for you is to plan one Twitter ad for awareness and one for fundraising. Just kind of like have that out. It's not very difficult to invest in that. Basically, all you need is a credit card. You can also use other platforms, of course, like you can work on Facebook and LinkedIn. But if you're targeting, crypto donors specifically, Twitter will be like your best bet for awareness and fundraising on that front.
One thing I'll just add there on the Twitter topic is you can boost a post that has gotten good engagement. So conceivably, you don't have to, put in a full project request to your marketing department or whoever develops the graphics for your team. You could just find a post that's already been successful for the desired audience, and you can put some money behind that and boost it. And that could be really helpful just for visibility in general.
And you can boost from as little as $5 and as much as, whatever you want. We have worked on that. We have actually some boosts planned out this week that we're hoping to get out. But yeah, it's a kind of like a very easy way for you to get some exposure and to see how well your ads can perform if you were to put more money towards them.
The last thing I'll add here on the Google ad side too is if you're wondering, well, that's great that we can set bids, but how much should we bid for keywords? As you develop these campaigns, Google can make suggestions for you, and it's going to do that based on what it's seen previously with those different keywords. So it can give you a sense of, how much it thinks you should be spending in order to actually rank. Like Louis said, this is for Google, it's quote unquote a bidding war with other people who want to appear in the search results for those desired keywords. So if you don't know where to start, this is a good place to go, is to follow Google's suggestion and check in a week. How many impressions did that ad get? If it's got 0, consider boosting up your bid amount, your max bid, or consider some additional keywords that may not be that one. If it's too expensive for that particular keyword, maybe look for something a little bit longer. Like we looked at donate crypto as one example for SEO. Just using that example, if that was too expensive for your team, you could look at, donate crypto from NFT sales or some other keyword that might be a bit longer and less general. Those tend to be a little bit more affordable than the ones that are, the right down the middle keywords.
Thank you, Sam. All right, I know that we're running a little bit low on time here, so we're going to try to go quickly through this so we have enough time to go through the Q&As. Expand your visibility to the crypto audience by leveraging social media networks. So basically, like the question would be like, do we need to tweet? And the answer would basically be yes. Like, crypto donors are digital donors. Demographically, they're involved in social media for the most part. And, like Twitter is one of like the biggest channels for them. Social media is an effective way to connect with specific donors. And in particular, Twitter is one of the most, it's kind of like the best channel to communicate with crypto philanthropy. So go to the next slide. But one of the things that is important to note here is that posting is not equal to asking for donations. So you just like going ahead and creating tweets that's just like, please donate to our cause, please do this, please do that is more of like a long-term commitment that you have to do with your donors. You have to build that audience and start cultivating them, talk to them about like your mission, tell your story, share your videos, share your case studies, like your good practices, things that have that can create some impact, and your donors are going to start, going through, coming to your channel and start interacting with you. Keep going to the next one. The art of the DM. So we know DM is direct messages, and in Twitter is one of like the easiest way to connect with specific donors. Now, of course, a lot of like the things here is you have to be like very careful of who you're talking to. So whenever you have, a DM from someone that's saying like, hey, I have like all this, this ton of like crypto that I want to donate to your cause. Perfect. Connect with us. Like, we have people that are specifically, in place to help you figure out if that's a true person that is trying to like have a real relationship with you and like making a real donation. So just like try to be casual, make sure that what you're communicating with them is all about your mission, and start kind of like creating rapport with these people. And also very importantly, don't ignore your DMs. In some cases, we have seen that, people are, just come up to our DMs and say like, I'm ready to make a donation. They were left on red and they end up, just like going somewhere else to make their donation. And so that's an important aspect of your strategy here, is to make sure that you're checking on your messaging.
Yeah, just to add on that, I know in some other webinars and sessions, Pat Duffy, one of our co-founders, has really emphasized this idea of the tax optimized moment. And what he means by that is, with crypto donors as well as other kind of non-cash asset donors, everyone's sort of got a different timeline for when they're ready to give. The end of year obviously is definitely a big time when giving is on people's minds, especially for their, offsetting potential taxes they might owe. But, if you're a crypto investor and a particular asset, appreciates a lot on a particular week, and you feel like this is your time to quote unquote cash out of it, you might be looking to there might be 24 hours in your head where you're like, am I going to, am I not? Maybe I should give some of it to offset some of the capital gains. Well, where should I give that to? And there's sort of that moment where for an individual donor, the momentum is built very quickly. The timeline is accelerated from what a traditional donor might be thinking about. And a DM is that a great channel for them to hit up the Giving Block's Twitter and ask, hey, I'm really interested in giving, like, where should I go? Who should I look for? And like Luis said, we have people who monitor our communities on different digital platforms and help them make those decisions. So you should all be checking your DMs as well if you've shown that you accept crypto donations through your Twitter and other accounts.
All right, because we're limited on time, Sam, do you want to jump into one of the examples, and then we can go through the Q's and A's?
Sure. Yeah.
So why don't we go to example 3, Edinburgh, dog and cat home.
Sure.
This is a very simple, example of like how, this organization used video to thank their crypto donors. So it's basically, like they created like a quick video, very simple, that just like show the gratitude to that donor for making a contribution, and it created a ton of engagement, and it just kind of like created that rapport with that community. That community is going back to this donor to do more of the same. And so those are the kind of like things that you want to make sure that you're doing, you're engaging with your community when you receive a donation, or when you have like someone who is interested in your mission, engage with them. And we'll make sure to also like let us know, because like we do have a person that is dedicated to community that would put you in contact, and kind of like mitigate that relationship as well, and kind of like get the best out of that communication. So establish a dialogue and let us know, and we can help you get the best results out of that.
Great. And I'll just step in and say thank you, both Luis and Sam, for an amazing presentation. We love seeing some actionable steps, some things that you can implement today, but also, end of year, which is sort of that biggest time of the year in crypto philanthropy, is coming up soon. It doesn't feel like it, but December is September through December, or October through December is not that far away. So start talking to your teams about how you can implement some of these strategies now so that you can be prepared for end of year. I know we only have a minute left. If Luis and Sam have like an extra minute or two just to answer some questions.
Yep.
So Andrew asked, does Google Ads work for video ads on YouTube?
Yes, you can run your YouTube ads through Google Ads. I'm not sure, like the Google Grant wouldn't run through Google Video through YouTube, but anything that is like paid, that you're actually invested in, you can use Google Ads to create YouTube videos as well, to manage your YouTube account through that.
Great. And then Genevieve asked, are there any tips for outreach to local donors?
I think local ad targeting is a good avenue there to spread awareness. And what we mean by that is when you're setting up a paid ad, you can narrow it to a state, a city, particular zip codes for different platforms. So that can be really helpful just to manage your spend. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a locally, you don't have to emphasize the locality in your content and the creative of that ad, although you may choose to. But that can make sure that the money you're spending to boost your visibility is getting seen by those people. But I would say, there are more and more people. I think 1 in 5 Americans now own crypto or have at some point. So the odds, I think, are increasingly in your favor that there are going to be people in your community who are interested in giving and have crypto that they can potentially give to you.
Great. And just to wrap things up, just a reminder that we do have a support team that can answer some questions as well. So if you do have any additional questions outside of this webinar, please feel free to email our support team at support@thegivingblock.com. Also, all TGB clients have access to our knowledge base. We have a ton of great resources, some like a Google Ads. We have SEO friendly article that gives you copy and paste language that you can implement into your crypto giving page. So make sure that you tap that resource as well. Also with our crypto giving pages, our support team does do reviews of your page. So as you're revamping your pages, and especially getting prepared for end of year, make sure you email our support team so that we can take a look at what's going on and provide any recommendations. But again, thank you so much, Luis and Sam, for putting in all of this work and giving all of this information. We've got some great feedback in our chat. Thank you to everyone that attended this webinar. We really appreciate it. We will have more expert series webinar topics in the future and coming up in the next few weeks that we hope that you will attend to. But we really appreciate your time and hope you have a great afternoon. Last reminder, this is a recorded webinar. You will receive this recording as well as the presentation deck, so you can really dive into the additional details that Luis and Sam gave and all of those great examples that were pulled. But thank you so much for your time. Have a great afternoon, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you.